something called the 5-star shout out. I'm not gonna say it because I don't believe in it. I don't believe in. You can't make you know what I'm talking about.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the side, Jawn. This is Sharon, the chocolate girl, your host. On Saturday, my favorite day of the week. I'm so excited to be here. And if you see me cheesing real hard, it's because I'm really, really excited. Like more excited than I've been in a long time because I have a very special guest on with me today. First thing I'm going to ask you guys to do, thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining us today. Please like and share the show. I don't have a producer, it's just me. So go ahead and like and share the show. And I appreciate when you all do that. It really, really helps. But and also, you know how we usually start out? We start out asking, how was your week? So go ahead and put that in the comments, how your week has been. Mine's been pretty interesting, but I don't want to talk about my week yet. I want to introduce my guest, and I'm going to ask her how her week is to begin with. So why don't I just get started telling you who this beautiful lady is sitting here on my screen? Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, my goodness. I'm so excited I could barely get myself together. So anyway, I have a fantastic show planned for everybody today. Visiting with me here on the side, Jawn, is somebody I've known since the early 2000s, right? Like early 2000s. We met working together. At that time, I was living in Maryland. And oddly enough, the one who used to make sure I went to the hair salon at least once a month. I was doing my own hair when I went up there from North Carolina. Why? Let's just say because I have trust issues, and I'll just leave it at that. Okay. So I was doing my own hair. And one day, we were talking. I found out that she had a life outside of work. And one thing she did was hair, makeup, and so on. And so I said, hey, I'm looking for somebody to do my hair. Although I was doing a pretty good job keeping my hair healthy, I was tired, boss. I'm just tired. I was tired of doing my hair. Like when I say doing my hair, I don't mean like the daily primp, I should say. I mean the relaxer, the condition, the trimming, all of it. It was just I was tired. So one weekend I went to Mindy's house. I was like, hey, let me come on over there. She did my hair, and the rest, as they say, is history. Because I love what she did. And she even talked to me about my hair, what kind of things I need to do to keep it moisturized and not dry so it doesn't break off. I didn't have any breakage, really. I had maybe a touch at the top. But that was a stress. That was the stress point, honey. That didn't have anything to do with me. That was the stress hair coming out. But anyway, because I was under some stress at the time. But anyway, we're going to get into whether or not she still does hair in that particular way or not. But enough of me chatting. I've been so excited for this day. I'm getting this busy woman schedule did not come easy. Why? Because she is booked and busy. So she is the founder of MG Beauty, a brand that consults on all things makeup, beauty, skincare, style, specialty gifting, and shopping, especially in the glam lane. This is the glam queen. She's the one. She is the only DMV's living local queen, Mindy Green.
Welcome. Hey, good morning.
Oh, listen. Yeah, I need to give me an applause sounder because that would have been perfect if I could have put that on there. But welcome, Mindy. I'm so glad to have you, and I meant every word I just said.
Oh, thank you. Let me thank Progressive Insurance.
That's right. Bringing us together
for us meeting. Yes, Progressive Insurance.
PGR. We should call it PGR because
Yes.
I think that's their name on the stock market or something. PGR or something like
Mhm.
that. But anyway, welcome, Mindy. How was your week this
Man,
week?
thank you so much for having me. I had a fantastic week. Had to, of course, overthink my outfit. What was I going to wear today? Because for the debut, right? So, but that's what I do, shopping, fashion, and beauty. So I was like, yeah, I got to make sure I show up looking cute
That's
for her
of
show
course,
so we can
of
have this
course.
conversation and catch up.
That's right. That's
So yeah,
right. Well,
pretty good week. Pretty good
I
week.
had a pretty good week myself. Busy. It's been a busy week. And, of course, I still work in insurance, but instead of the auto side, I'm on property insurance. And
Oh,
anytime we see that there's some tropical storm out in the ocean, all of a sudden the business just gets really, really
mhm.
busy and everybody's calling, trying to change their coverage and make sure it's paid. I'm just calling to make sure. That's the common thing when I answer the phone. I'm just calling to make sure, trying to make sure. I'm like, okay, what's the policy number? Yes, you're good.
Yeah.
So, anyway, it's been a busy week, fruitful week, but I'm glad to be here on Saturday, my favorite day of the week. So,
Well, that's cool.
with,
And the
with
great thing
that,
about working in insurance is that I think
mhm,
we know enough to cause problems. We could be really bad people after we worked in the insurance industry. We know a lot.
we do, we do, we see it all too.
Hmm.
Especially as long as you and I have been in the industries,
Hmm.
we've seen it. We've seen it change. We've
Yeah.
seen all kinds of things happen. Some things leaving you like, do I need to still be doing this job? Because
Hmm.
I don't know if I agree with that right there. But you just take it as it gives it. That's all
Yeah.
you can do.
You can get jaded. Definitely, you can get jaded working in the insurance industry too. It can. It
Yes,
can.
you can. I
Mhm.
agree with that, Mindy. I
Yeah.
certainly agree with that. But we're gonna go ahead and get started. I have some interesting questions for you today. And
Oh,
again,
I'm
like I
going
said,
to
I'm so
interesting
excited.
answers. I hope.
You see, where's my question? Okay, here they are. All right, Miss Mindy. So first of all, you've built a dynamic career in beauty and media. And we're
Mhm.
going to talk a lot about you on these shows, especially in the DMV. So can you take us back to the moment that you realized that what you do is your calling?
It's easier to answer that for beauty than the media stuff,
Mm-hmm.
because in beauty, it's like, I think for most of us, it comes from the heart when you're a beauty professional. So at some point in your life, you gave yourself your first haircut. I remember doing that in middle school, or you burnt your hair off, or you gave yourself some ugly hair color experiment. So you kind of know when you're younger. And there was just different phases where I was like, yeah, at 14, when I got in high school, I was like, yeah, I should take the cosmetology program. But for some reason, I second guessed it and didn't do it. And I was like, that is my biggest life regret, not doing cosmetology program in high school. And then I go to college. I'm at Morgan State, Baltimore, Maryland, HBCU, and I'm doing people's hair in my dorm room. And at my sophomore year, I was like, oh, maybe we should go to cosmetology school. But then I'm like, no, no, you're halfway through college. Go on and get your degree. And then, I started working in the insurance industry. And it wasn't until actually Progressive where I had a boss I couldn't stand. I don't remember the man's name. Some little short white dude. Um, like like Revenge of the Nerds, kind of like that's kind of how I remember him, one of them little dudes. And me and him just did not get along. And I remember one day we had gotten into it, and I was like, why are you even doing this? Because this is not really what's in your heart. This is not your passion. Like, you just need to find an exit from this. And that night, I went to Hair Academy in New Carrollton. That's the neighborhood hair school. I grew up in Glenarden, so it's right around the corner. And got all the info. And I was like, dang, I ain't got no money though. And he was like, we can get a student loan. Everybody get a student loan. And so I said, all right then. So that day I said, sign me up. And in October 2003, finally went to cosmetology school. And I said, yeah. And the reason why I knew had to be the callings, because when I went back to work the next day, I'm like, yeah, I'm adjusting my schedule to take these classes at night. And that joker tried to, let's just say, throw roadblocks up. And I was just like, this is
Mm-hmm.
happening. So this is kind of a courtesy, me telling you this is happening. So if I need to get my 2 weeks, you let me know, because this is happening. I'm not gonna put this off anymore, because this is something that I had started when I was like 14 wanting to do it, and it was finally happening. I'm like, I'm not gonna let this joker stand in the way. And that's how you know it's your calling, because you don't care. You're like, I'm doing this. regardless
I'm
of
doing.
what you're trying to do to throw up the roadblock.
Mhm.
So that was it for beauty. And what's funny is after I started, 2 months later, he ended up quitting. So I was like, you know what? But this is if this is how God got me to the place I wanted to be forever, then hey, it had to play out that way. So
It had to be done.
it had to
It
be
had
done.
to be done.
Yeah, but I was
So
so
kind of
happy
when you
when
know, you know.
yeah, yes, I was so happy when that man quit.
Mhm.
And but it brought me to cosmetology school, and then finally what I wanted to do. And then as far as the media, I'd have to say it wasn't until maybe like 2 years ago. Even though I have been doing TV since 2016, I didn't say this is a thing. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
until yeah, 20 late 2022, early 2023.
And what
And
was that?
that was yeah.
What was that shift like? You know, moving from behind the scenes to be in front of the camera. What was that like?
Well, it was almost like it was even a fluke, I call it, to even land in front of a TV camera because I always thought to myself, like you said, I'm getting someone ready for their moment. I'm helping them get ready for a TV or, photo shoot or whatever they're doing. But never was I thinking I'd be in front of the camera. But it was just, I was in Houston. And so I had moved to Texas for about 5 years. And there was this one anchor I used to watch every
Mm-hmm.
Saturday, and she never put lipstick on. And this is so funny. But that was the thing, because I love doing people's lips when I do their face, and it was just bothering me that she never had any lipstick on. And I just tried to ignore it because I know people in TV always getting critique from the audience. But I
Mm-hmm.
finally said, I'm just going to write a nice little email and I'm just going to say, very nicely, hey, I just think you come across so much better on camera with a little more lipstick and we'll meet and we can play around with some stuff. I'm a Bobby Brown makeup artist, so I know really soft, pretty looks. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to impose my opinion, but it was just bothering me because I love doing lips and you didn't have anything on your lips. So I'm sorry, please forgive me. And I sent it off and I'm like, oh, she's never going to get it. And it just got it off my chest. So I hope I could feel better and just move on with my life. But then lo and behold, 15 minutes later, she was on my phone, had responded and was like, oh, how about you come on the show and talk about ways
Oh,
to get out of the beauty rut? And that's why I was like, wow.
whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
If anything, I'm looking for a new client, not to jump on TV for the first time. So
That just like that.
yeah, yeah, just like that. That was in January 2016 and February 13th, 2016 was my first time on TV. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Just like that. That's amazing because you were so hesitant to even make that type of contact. And look what it
Mhm.
did.
Right,
It
right. So that's
sparked
stepping out
all of
on faith.
this.
Yep. So that's the thing for people. Step out on faith. Just send the email, send the text, do the DM. You never know.
You never know. Yeah, you're right about
Mhm.
that. My goodness.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
just imagine what was it like when you first got in her presence? Was there any uneasiness or was she just laughing
Oh,
like, okay,
mm.
now you told me about my
Yeah,
lips. Let's
yeah, that's
go.
what she said. Aren't you glad you say me? You need to get some lipstick. So she really laughed. I was like, I hope it didn't come across like that. But she's a Jersey girl. So we're both,
Oh,
East Coast transplants
well,
in Houston. So yeah, she's a Jersey girl.
say no
And
more. Say no more.
yeah, yeah. And I'm
Broad
still,
shoulders.
yeah,
She can take it. She's fine.
oh yeah, yeah. So, but they were so gracious at the station. I had a great time. And luckily one of my friends from back here lived in Houston too. And so she was able to capture a lot of behind the scenes and because everything was a blur to me, just being there. So
Right.
I'm so glad she was able to capture it for me. But yeah, but now I say, yeah, this is what I do. Now I'm like, this is what I do beauty and this is what I do TV. Change the mindset to TV personality. Because actually, one of my TV mentors tell me about that around that time, 2022. She's like, "You're a TV personality, but you don't brand yourself that way." And so then it was like, okay, make that mindset shift from this is just something I like doing to yeah, this is what you do. So take ownership.
So I tell you what, you've come. I mean, okay. One of the reasons why I really was wanting to have you on because I've watched you. I've watched you make this transition to TV, and I'm like, I don't even live up there anymore. You got me watching their morning shows just because of you. Just because I
Oh,
want to see you. So when you post that you're going to be on the show, I make sure I go to their streaming, their
oh,
website or something to
cool.
try to see it because I try to
Thank
catch it
you.
live when I can. right?
Oh,
But you're always going to repost a clip at least.
mhm.
So I get
I,
to see it and I'm like, oh, she is fabulous. I
just
mean,
like this,
you're
it's
just
gonna be
like
reposted.
flawless.
This too gonna be on my YouTube. Okay.
Yeah, YouTube.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. And so I watch it and I'm like, oh, she is good. I could take some tips from her, you know?
Thank
And
you.
so when you do these segments on TV,
Mhm.
they're always like packed full of great information, good tips, so much energy. How do you decide what to share? Do they give you the subject or do they ask you to come with it and ask you what you're going to talk about?
It's a little bit of both because if you have a really good relationship with the station, if they know, okay, she does shopping, fashion, and beauty, they'll say, hey, can you do a segment on XYZ? They'll tell me.
Mhm.
Or it's me sending in a pitch saying, okay, I had some ideas for, some topics I think your audience would enjoy. And so I'll kind of give them a little quick overview of the topic. But you always want to look at what's relevant right now as far as the media, or is there something going on
Mhm.
in the beauty space or fashion space, or some type of like event coming up that the station's going to cover, and you just think, okay, how do I kind of piggyback on that or share something useful towards whatever's going on?
Mhm. Okay. So if you're just joining us, people, I am here with my very special guest, Mindy Green of MG Beauty. You
Beauty.
can find her YouTube channel,
Mm,
MG. Oh, it's the Mindy Green Beauty TV, right?
yeah, it's long. I always forget what it is too. It's
No,
long.
it's that. Mindy Green, green
Beauty.
with no E at the end is
Yeah,
GREEN,
the
like the
color.
color. Mindy
Mhm.
Green Beauty TV. That's her YouTube channel. If you want to, take a look after the show. But she's
Mhm.
joining us here to talk about all things fashion, beauty, skin, whatever. If you have a question, even about men, you can put some questions in there. She knows what she's talking
Right.
about with men,
Maybe
skin
I
and
might.
hair too.
Mhm.
Put it on
Well,
in there.
I'm still single, so I don't know. So maybe that is advice.
Girl, listen, when it's the right time, he will come and find you. I honestly believe that. He will find you when it's right. Right now, MG Beauty is who you married to. That's it.
Yeah, right.
MG Beauty. That's it.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe that's it.
It's
You're
like
right.
me. It's like me and the chocolate writer. The chocolate writer, that's who I am. That's who I'm married to right now. He'll come. Don't worry about that. But anyway, if you're just joining us, I just want to let you know this is Mindy Green and she is of MG Beauty. So I have another question. When
Mhm.
you're deciding the show, they give you the topic or you come up with the topic. What's your topic? What's your creative process like? Is there like an order? Do you like, okay, let me research this, then I'm going to write this down, then I'm going to do a final and then just show up? Do you practice before you go on just talking about it yourself?
See. Well, I overthink everything. I think
Me
the
too.
and maybe some of the, I'm thinking about being a beauty professional. Some of that, attention to detail is probably what causes me to overthink everything. But once I know whatever the topic is, then I have to look for, is it I'm showing up by myself, or do I have to get models? And so if
Oh,
it's just me,
yeah.
then it's just okay, source whatever it is that you want to bring as display, or you're doing some kind of demo to show off whatever it is you're talking about. And then, what does the display look like? Because I like table dressing. It's like, what is it going to look like on the table? So that's kind of what it is if it's just me. Now, if it's models, that's a lot more work because now I got to reach out to models, see who's interested, who's available. Then I have to get their wardrobe. So sometimes I have to shop online in the store. Then I have to think about all their accessories, their earrings, their shoes, their bracelets, rings, et cetera, et cetera. And then
Mm-hmm.
come up with, okay, what are we going to say specifically about their model looks? And then you got to coordinate, where are we doing the makeup? And then, right, getting the location close to hopefully the TV station so you don't be late. And then it's just trying to coordinate multiple people's schedules, because then when you get the clothes, now you got to do a fitting. So you got to catch up with the models, put the clothes on. Do they fit? Do they not fit? Now you got to go shop again. So it's a lot that happens behind the scenes with models. Very like that's actually probably more stressful for me doing the models because it's just me. I'm single, I don't have like extra people to help. It's like me doing
Mm-hmm.
everything. Now, at least when I was in
Right.
Houston, I had my friend Gray who was there, who was at least doing hair. So I had somebody
Mhm.
to help out. But here it's all me. So it's very stressful. So if I do something with models, couple times back to back, it'll be a long break, at least a good 6 months before I do it again, because it's so much mentally, I think, on me
Mm.
trying to pull it off. And since, that perfectionist syndrome we all have, so I'll put a lot of pressure on myself to deliver. And so then it gets really stressful. And that's why I have to say, okay, you need to just kind of give yourself a mental break and just kind of show up by yourself for a few months, 6 months, and then get
Yeah.
back into, let me try to do something with fashion again. Let me try to do something with models. Because I also want to give other people opportunity to kind of grow and, move up together. It's like we're all growing together. So instead of just
Mhm.
taking all the spotlight for me, okay, well, bring some people along. I had a mentor who said to me, he said, when you get somewhere, he's like, reach back and bring somebody with you. So
That's
that's how
right.
I kind of look at it, like I'm helping to bring these people with me. And I always look for people who are hungry, who are really trying to, do something, live a dream, chase a dream like me, when I try to figure out who's going to be my models. So that's a long answer for the question of the process.
Mhm. No, no, great answer, great answer. The one thing about the side John that people tell me they like, is very authentic.
Mhm.
So we may have a run of show or a script, but many times we just let the show guide us. So whatever your answer is, that's your answer. There's no time limit on it. Your time is mine.
Okay.
I block out, several hours every Saturday for it. So
Okay.
have at it, girl. Talk as long as you
Okay.
want to. That's what I like. And that's what our viewers like. They love it because it's so real and authentic. So
All right.
you don't worry about that. But anyway, this leads to my next question. Very good answer,
Hmm.
especially about reaching back and helping people. Because my next question is, you've helped transform clients through makeup and style. Can you share a memorable moment where your work truly impacted someone's confidence or their life?
Yeah, because I think that was when I wanted to think through. Because you think about being in the industry forever, is these little things that
Mhm.
happen. You're like, what is that thing you want to share? But I'm actually going to go back to something really early on when
Mhm.
I was working at one of these like glamour photo studios as a makeup artist. And this is the thing about it. I didn't even see this happen. So this is the reason why I always go back to it, because someone else had to tell me that this happened
Oh,
with the person. So I'm so
awesome.
glad that they shared, because I totally missed it. But we have kids that come in sometimes, and all we do is just a little makeup on kids, a little blush, a little lip gloss. That's really it, just to give them a little bit of the experience. But there was this one little girl who came in, and she sat in my chair, and I did a little gloss in her little cheeks, and but she had this like kind of like a cut maybe in her eyebrow. I don't know if it's, and there was like no hair grew there. And so I just kind of filled in that little
Mhm.
spot in the brow and in the other brow, just to kind of make them look even. And then that was it. And, sent her off to go do a little thing. And one of the clients came to me when we had a break and said, she said, I don't know if you noticed this, but that little girl just came to life in your chair. Like when she walked in, she was like, she was sitting there, she was kind of withdrawn. She, kept to herself. But after she got out of your chair, she was smiling, she was laughing. She was just having the best time of her life.
Mhm.
And I was like, wow, how did I even miss that? And it does make me a little emotional. I'm like, I'm not tough, guys. You ain't gonna get to me crying here, but but when I that, it's just like, wow, maybe that little spot, maybe it was a burn or a cut, and she was self-conscious about it. But me, just a little bit of
Mhm.
eyebrow pencil just totally changed that little girl's life. So, that's what I think
Awesome.
about now when it comes to what's that one moment.
Mhm. And see, that's the thing. That's part of the why. You don't,
Mhm.
everybody, a lot of people ask me why I do the things I do. It's not for money. It's because it feeds my soul and
Yeah,
I like the way it makes other people feel. That's it. And when you can somebody straighten up a little straighter in your chair like that because of the magical Mindy hands have been on them, I just think that's awesome. And that's
yeah,
why you do it.
yeah. And
Mhm.
you know what? I also think about another moment, still at the Progressive House when I was there. And there was somebody who had asked me about wanting to get in the beauty industry. And I was like, oh, because this person had never talked about it before. And I was like, I said, well, what was kind of driving you? And they were just like, oh, I'm sick of people, so I just want to go, get my license, do like 3 weaves a day, and then that's it. And I was really offended.
Okay.
And I was like, you don't do
Yeah.
this. I said, no, I'm not, I'm going to gatekeep this industry. I don't need people like you here who just are tired of
Mm-mm.
people. I mean, this is the people business, beauty. So if it doesn't come from the heart, I don't want you here. I don't want you just coming in for a money grab, And I remember the person I was talking to there, he was like, yeah, he was like, I said, I take this very serious. And I said, I probably done offended them. They ain't never going to speak to me again. But just saying, no, I don't want you here. But he was like, no, I get it. He's like, it comes from the
Mhm.
heart. This ain't just like a money grab for you. I said, yeah. He said, this is what I would do without being paid to do it. So that's how I know this is from the heart. So yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I just think that's awesome. But that
Hmm.
speaks to the integrity of Mindy and the heart of Mindy. And everybody doesn't possess that. And it's good that sometimes it's good to gatekeep because you're right. You don't need people messing up your thing. You
Yeah.
know, we all right over here. You can stay over there with that negativity and you don't want to invite that in.
And
So
it's
I
kind of
applaud you for
happening.
sticking up to that.
It is kind of
Mhm.
happening in the industry now. You got the new school hairdressers versus the old school. You're seeing a debate on social media about all these rules and all these guidelines to go, and what they expect versus what people are used to expecting. So it is already becoming a challenge in the beauty industry now.
Well, I'm gonna say shout out to my stylist, Linda, Miss Linda. She doesn't put me through any of that.
Yes,
None
listen.
of it. She really does not. She's been doing hair for a long time. And the only thing that she only asks for two things.
Hmm,
Be on time. And
okay,
if you can't make it, give her notice. That's it. She
that's
doesn't
fair.
have any other these other funky rules that I see. I'm like, what are they doing? What's
Yeah.
going on? What's happening?
Mm, mm,
And we
mm.
talked about it one time, and she was like, I don't know, Sharon, but I don't operate like that. And she said, now come on over here and get in this chair. And I
Yeah.
sat down and we went on. That's Linda. Linda, she's only like, she's about your height, actually. She's about your
Okay.
height.
40s.
But I tell you, she is so feisty. It's
Mm,
like she has a full command of her salon, and she is a one-person shop, just like you. She's like one person, but skilled, highly skilled. She's always at some type of hair show, or she's always,
keeping herself
what should
up.
I say?
Yeah, to
Skill,
continuing she's continuing to learn.
reaffirming her skills, then
Hmm.
learning. She's conducted classes herself. I mean, she's good. Maybe I need
That's
to connect you with her. I don't know. You have to
yeah,
meet
that's
up
what
in
it sounds
DC.
like.
She goes to DC a lot. She goes to DC a lot.
When she's in town, please have her check with me. Check me out.
I'll have her check with you. But morning show viewers love your savvy shopping advice. How do I know? Because I read comments. See, I
Oh,
read comments. And somebody said, oh, need to ask her about this, something to do with shopping. And so they must like your savvy shopping advice. So what's
yes.
one underrated product or brand that you think more people should know about right now?
Hmm. So that's gonna be tricky because I like do a lot of shopping for plus size shoppers.
Mm-hmm.
And even
Mm-hmm.
though I think people know about some of those plus size brands, it's like, I'll mention some of the people like, oh, hadn't heard of that, But one of the places I shop from a lot is Eloquy. They have like lots. I mean, it used to be so bad at one point. Now it's calmed down because the brand has kind of changed. But in the early days, literally every time I got a paycheck, I was buying something from Eloquy. That's how bad it was. Like I said, it's calmed a little bit now, but definitely the Eloquy brand when it comes to plus size clothing, and also ASOS, which is overseas. It's in the UK. ASOS.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of great brands, a lot of great clothing for plus size shoppers. So definitely there. ASOS is one brand, and then Eloquy in the plus size. I'm thinking there's one more that I'm always getting. Well, there's always a lot of boutiques too that I shop at, so that's a little different. But
And
but yeah,
Eloquy is ELOQUI.
QUII, believe.
I. Oh, left the
Yeah,
I out. Okay,
yeah,
Eloquy.
yeah, yeah.
I
And then
put that
even
name in the chat.
what was the other one? City Chic. I forgot about that brand. City Chic. I buy a lot of stuff from them too. So City Chic, Eloquy, and
Okay.
ASOS, top three plus size brands to shop at. Now, as far as beauty goes, I do like the Pat McGrath, but I feel like it is a little
Hmm.
overpriced. I'll just say it. But she has a lot of beautiful colors for eyeshadow. So if you really love eyeshadow and playing up your eyes, she does have a lot of beautiful colors. Can't deny it, but it's pricey. But would also say Juvia's Place. This is the lower. That's I'm gonna give you the high budget and then the low budget. Juvia's Place. That
God.
brand,
Hmm.
beautiful. Lots of really like pigmented colors, especially for the darker skins that stand up against the darker skin. So that's my budget brand that I say, yeah, check out Juvia's Place. And then of course black, both geared towards black women. And then Pat McGrath, you know.
Is it
Pat McGrath.
McGrath with TH at the end?
Yes, yeah, Pat McGrath. I think it's called Pat McGrath Labs. Because she's like a world famous makeup artist, always doing looks for all these high end designers. She's over in the UK. But
Hmm.
and she's interesting that as a makeup artist, she doesn't really seem to wear a ton of like color. She's not like one of those makeup artists that wants this overly done face. She keeps that beautiful skin, really like, plays up a little bit on her eyes, but not what people think of traditionally for a makeup artist when they see her.
And the other one is Julia's Place,
Oh,
right?
Juv like Victor IA, Juvia's Place.
Oh, Juvia's Place.
Uh-huh. Juvia's Place.
Juvia's Place. Okay, got that in
Hmm.
there. Place. All right. Let me see. What about shoes? I'm throwing this question in there because I am trying to find some shoes. I looked around in my closet and realized I have a lot of old shoes. So I began to start throwing shoes away. In fact,
Okay.
got 2 boxes of shoes right here. I got like 4 or 5 boxes right here. I'm about to take these to the Goodwill or consignment because they're in good shape. A couple
Say
of pairs
consignment.
I
Try to
barely,
consign it. Make some money first. Consignment. I'm big on consignment
yeah,
stores.
because I mean I barely a couple of pairs I barely wore. Like you don't even look at the bottom. The bottom is still
Mhm.
kind of clean, you
Yeah,
know.
that's
And,
consignment.
so I need to get shoes, but I need to be budget conscious. And I also have a larger foot. I have an unusual size foot.
Mm.
Um, it's a 10 and a half. And I'm a perfect 10 and a half. It is so maddening. Why? When you go to the stores, you get a 10. They might have an 11. They never have a 10 and a half. You will never find it. So and then I don't like ordering shoes online. I just don't like it. I want to see it, touch it, put it on my feet first. I have put that aside and I
Okay.
did order I've ordered one pair of shoes online, Mindy. One. And it's a
Mm.
perfect fit. It
Oh, okay.
is. It's a perfect fit. But I will tell you that the quality of the material is not what it looks like online. So it's lesser quality than I liked. So I don't wear them that often because I don't want to tear them up. But they are so comfortable because they are a perfect fit that arch hits my foot where it needs to hit because it's a 10 and a half.
Mm.
And for years I've buying 11s because the 10s just are too, they just hurt my feet. So I would buy the 11, but then I would be walking on my tiptoes because the arch isn't holding me right.
Oh shoot.
That's a real problem for me.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to know if you can suggest a website that I can buy my shoes from that you trust. Because if you tell me to go, I'm going to go.
Let's see. Because I mean, you're definitely taller than me. So there is a site. I believe it's called
Mhm.
like Long Tail Sally, something like that, where it's made for taller women. So, because usually my mom
Oh,
was tall,
really?
even though I'm like 5'2", my mom was actually 5'8". So she was tall. She had like size
Oh, we the
12
same
feet.
height.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
had like size 12 feet. And so she would always have a hard time. So I started thinking, where can I find shoes for my mom too? So I think it was Long Tail
Hmm.
Sally is the site that does things for taller women that usually has bigger sizes. I've actually had good luck with Nordstrom though. I mean, now it might be a little pricey, but Nordstrom Rack you can usually get. some really good prices
Oh
on shoes.
yeah, girl. There's a Nordstrom rack that's like 4 miles from my house.
Okay, yeah, yeah. They should be able to do something because I feel like Nordstrom has more options for sizes. Like the first time I ever got a C width shoe was at a Nordstrom because most places just
Mhm.
have B width. They don't think about people who need
Mhm.
wider shoes. So that's why I think I'm a
Yeah.
little loyal to Nordstrom for that. But yeah, I know that. I thought DSW didn't do bad either though when I've shopped there.
Yeah, but they don't carry the 10.5.
Still
I've,
stick to
I've
the 10.
seen in all the years of DSW, I've probably seen 10.5 there maybe twice, maybe 3 times. I've never and I do go, but I stopped going because I got discouraged. And so it's like I just stopped buying shoes. So I've been wearing all these old shoes, right? And as you know, I've had some health challenges over the last several years. And during that time, I wasn't wearing heels anymore. I was
Yeah.
just wearing flat shoes and I wasn't going anywhere. So I've been wearing sneakers and slides and, flip flops and stuff. And I'm like, girl, you need to get back into your shoe game because I love what I realize is now I love shoes. I didn't
Oh,
realize I love shoes as much as I do. I never thought I had a love of
you
shoes,
said
but
it.
I do. And now it's like I gotta get me some shoes, Mindy.
All right, so yeah, I mean, I'm trying to shrink my shoe closet because at one point I'm sure I easily had like 200 pair of shoes. I'm trying to shrink it. I've maybe come down like 20 pair, maybe. I'm trying. So I definitely,
Oh wow. I,
but
I would be embarrassed to show you my closet
you said
because my
embarrassed to say,
shelf is full of shoes. But they're old. If my sister was in here, she would tell the truth on me how old my shoes are. They're old. And so, like I said, listen, I put on a pair. I'm gonna tell you this and I'm gonna move on with the interview, but I put on a pair of shoes one day to go to an event for work.
"Hmm,
And by the time I got back home, I was driving home and I looked down, I kept seeing these little black flakes everywhere. And I'm like,
she was
what is
disintegrating.
that? Girl, I came walking in the house and called my sister on FaceTime. I said, look at this shoe. I said, see, what is that? She said, girl, your shoe dry rotted. Throw them shoes away. Girl, I took them things off my feet right then, put them right in the
Oh,
trash. And I was like, because when I put them on, it didn't do that. And they fit, they were
oh,
comfortable, they looked nice. It had like a little heel on it, like maybe
okay.
this much of a heel. I was like, okay, no, girl. And that's what prompted me to go through all my shoes and throw stuff out. And now it's like, so I'm telling on myself, yeah, I'm ashamed to say I had some shoes that had dry rotted. Yes. I had never seen that before in my life.
I actually seen that one time when I was doing a makeover on somebody, and we were just like, oh, okay, that's a cute shoe. Like, put that one on, and that's exactly what happened to her too. It happened when
Mm-mm.
she started walking around. I was like, oh Lord, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Hey, Jay Will is in the comments. Hey, Jay, what's up, Jay? This is Mindy Green. This is my girl that lives up there in Maryland. That's
Yes.
the one. Jay is the guy that we went to see when I called you that day
Oh, is
in
that
the
right?
car, Mindy.
Oh,
Yeah, he's in the
cool.
comments. So, Jay, this is Mindy. Mindy, that's Jay in the comments.
Well, good morning.
Thanks for watching, Jay. And again, this is the Side John, and we do have Mindy Green of MG Beauty on with us today.
Yes, indeed.
All right, Mindy. So glad to have you. But yeah, so we're gonna have to talk about the shoe thing more offline because
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna need some support on that. It's emotional for me. I need to give me some shoes.
And note
But
to self.
you've been in the beauty industry for decades now. So what's one myth that you wish people would stop believing about makeup or even style? There's some myths out there that are crazy. So do you know of any that you wish people would stop believing?
I think with makeup that you actually and even skincare that you have to spend a ton like that. Oh, you got to get that Lemire $300 cream. No, I mean, hey, Neutrogena does a great job for a lot of folks. Matter of fact, I use one of their moisturizers now in the summertime. So, that bottle's like $25 versus like going to the department store and spending 300. I'm like, my skin's looking pretty good for $25 moisturizer. if it's even that much, because I catch it on sale, probably for like 15. So the idea that you have to spend so much money, like you got to go into the department store. I mean, there's a lot of great brands. I'm a huge fan of L'Oreal. And guess what? L'Oreal owns
Mm-hmm.
Lancome. So if you see something in the Lancome counter, there's a good chance you're going to see something very similar in L'Oreal. So I wouldn't spend $30 on the Lancome mascara when you can get the L'Oreal for $10 or $15. So that's one thing I would say definitely
Makes
about
sense.
beauty. Yes, yes, you don't have to spend a whole lot. I think as far as
Mhm.
fashion goes, that there's I mean, I know there's quote unquote rules or things that look more flattering, but at the end of the day, it's your style and your personality in it. Sometimes it's just you having the confidence to pull it off. So even though somebody else might be like, "Oh, I don't really like that on you," if you have the confidence to wear it, then it just becomes your style, becomes what's most flattering on you. So that's one of those things, a
Mhm.
self-confidence thing. It's not so much that it's not the right look for you. Because I know people be like, just because they come in your size. And I can see some of that, but it's also the self-confidence to pull it
Right,
off. If you
right,
got that, then hey, you got the style.
right. Yeah, it is about some self-confidence sometime. And yeah, I do hear people say just because it come in your size doesn't mean it's for you. Well, that's for any size.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen very thin women look terrible in outfits
Yeah.
before. Of course, I'm not calling any names, but I've seen it, and it's just as unpleasing to the eye as the opposite. So I can say across sizes that can be the truth. But you're right about the self confidence. One myth I know that I've heard my whole life is if you happen to be a black woman and you're darker skin that you cannot and should not wear bright colors. And I
Mm.
remember my mother
That's
was dark
like
skinned,
that.
God rest her soul. And I always thought my mother was the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Okay. And I remember when we were little girls and she would talk to us about getting ready to go out and stuff. And she would and we would say, Mom, put that on. And she didn't want to wear it because it was bright. It took me and my sister and I, to convince her to start wearing brighter clothing and telling her she was beautiful. I mean, it came from the children. You know, they say out of the mouths of babes. That literally happened in my house. And from then on out, she wore bright colors after that. And I will, that has sat with me my whole, I just remember I was little, like 7, maybe. It was very little.
Wow.
So I know you've probably heard that. What would
Mhm.
you say to darker skinned women who have been told that and believe that, and so they shy away from the bright colors?
I mean, it's really the contrast against the darker skin that I think makes it, like you said, really beautiful. So
Mm-hmm.
I was very fortunate that I didn't hear a whole lot of negative talk when I was growing up, being darker skin.
Mm-hmm.
And even in high school, you always get that, well, you're cute for a dark skin, kind of thing. But
Mm-hmm.
no, I was very fortunate that I didn't have anybody talking negatively around me about being darker. So my mom being dark skinned too, I guess that might have been part of why that I never heard anything
Mm-hmm.
negative about it. But once I started seeing like the way that bold colors and bright colors, I just started liking them, being in the beauty industry and being creative. I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't even allow someone to kind of tell me that I shouldn't do something. Like, I think I take offense to it, especially the compliment, oh, you have such a pretty face. I take offense to people
Oh,
giving someone that compliment because I'm like, no, they're pretty, period. It's not a pretty face
right,
because it's what's
right.
behind it. The backhanded is, oh, well, you think they should be a smaller size. And I'm like, just because someone's a 16 and not a 6 doesn't mean they can't be out of somebody's league. Like, it's just their mentality that makes them
Mm-hmm.
think, oh, okay, because you're not. And I used to work with somebody who every now and again would say something. And I was like, I can tell she's got a
Mm-hmm.
hang up. But she thinks that, oh, because I'm plus size, that I shouldn't be maybe just thinking so highly of myself. Because even one time I had
Mm-hmm.
brought like a guy I was dating around and she had made a comment about, oh, you don't scrape the bottom of the barrel. And I was like, and why would I? Like, I'm sorry, I'm missing something here. Like, why would I say
Exactly.
that? Like, and I said the only thing she could be trying to say something about is because I'm plus size. And she must be thinking, oh,
Right.
it like trust me, there's a world of men who love a thick chick. So
They
She's
sure
respectful,
do.
but she was also a little
They
bit,
sure do.
different generation. So maybe, people brought up to think, oh, certain things. So I think it is
Mm-hmm.
kind of generational. And I feel like social media has helped in a lot of ways, but I feel like it's kind of hurt people in a lot of ways with feeling good about wearing the bolder, brighter colors when you're dark.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I don't allow the people to dictate what I'm gonna wear. I mean, they can say something. I'll just be like,
Oh,
oh, all right,
I'm
then don't
sure
do
you
it.
have a response though when you need to.
No,
I know you, Mindy. I know you have a response when you need to. When you, and
yeah,
I'm sure you know when to just go like this and not say anything
whatever.
and
Yeah.
know what you know. Hmm. That's right. But okay. I'm gonna talk about time a little bit. I'm busy. You're busy. Are you still working like a full time job and this too, or this
Everything.
is
I
the only
seem.
thing you're doing?
Oh no, I seem like I'm always. And what they always say, the Jamaican, you got 50 jobs. I kind of feel like that.
Right.
It's not my
I
roots,
mean, I
but
feel like that too. I feel like that too. So how do
mm,
you balance it though? But how do you balance being this expert, this entrepreneur, media personality while staying authentic and connected to your audience? That's the thing. How do you find that time to connect with them?
well, I do like doing the videos because that's just kind of fun for me, just talking about shopping, fashion, and beauty stuff. And just
Mhm.
trying to make sure that if I did, because I mean, I did a couple little brand, partnerships, but I always pick things that are like genuinely I've used it or I really, really like it, or it gives me the ability to pick what it is that I like that I want to show people or share with people because that is important integrity. I've had brands send me things and been like, oh, can you do a video on this product? And I'm like, well, I don't really like that product. So thanks for sending it, but
No.
no, I mean, and then there was one
Mm-mm.
brand who I did do a video on one of their products, and I said, "Oh, hey, I like these things," and they sent me the opposite, and they were like, "Well, can't you just do a video on that?" And I was like, "I'm not that kind of creator. Like, you can't just quote unquote pay me
Mm-mm.
to just do a video. Like, I don't do that." And I know it's plenty of influencers.
Mm-mm.
Look, I get it; they got bills to pay, but for me, like I want my integrity to stay high. If I talk about it, it's because I love it. Because I've used it. I mean,
Mhm.
you can tell in my sparkly shoe videos how much I love my sparkly shoes. So that energy, I can't
Oh
give you
yeah.
that energy. I can't make that fake energy. It's like it has to be, oh, I love this. And I just start talking about it. So I just think, and then people who know me just kind of know, yeah, that's her. Yeah, she does get excited about sparkly shoes. Like, she does
Well,
love her bling.
I know I'm gonna spend time talking to you about those shoes too, because like I
Mhm,
said, I didn't know I loved them so much. But yeah,
mhm.
integrity is very important. I'm glad to hear you say that. You've always been a person of integrity, I
Thanks.
found. So that doesn't surprise me that that would be your answer. And
Mhm.
right along with it, social media, you mentioned social media space. They play a huge role in your visibility
Yeah.
today. So, what's your approach to connecting with the followers online and how do you keep it fresh?
Well, it just depends on the platform because it's kind of like I treat each Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, I treat them all differently. Like looking at, okay, what is that media outlet's personality? And then what is that audience like to see? And then also thinking about, does it make
Hmm.
sense for someone to follow me across platforms? Because if I'm going to give you the same thing on every channel, you may as well just be on one channel. Why are you going to follow me everywhere if you get the same exact
Right.
thing? So I just try to look at, like,
Hmm.
on TikTok, I do a lot more fashion and kind of get the audience involved when I have like maybe a TV appearance. I'll be like, oh, here's some outfits. What do you think I should wear? Because they like the fashion show. But I don't put that on
I love
Instagram.
it.
Yeah, or if I do, I'm just going to put it on as a story. I'm not going to make it a post. Well, on Instagram, I show a lot of the TV presentations
Hmm.
or like video clips, but I don't always put those on TikTok because I feel like that audience doesn't really want to see TV clips. They want to see the fashion. They want to see the little tips and tricks. So I try to keep, each audience different, give them something different to see. But YouTube, you can see all the videos. It used to be just a place I stored the videos just so I could have it. And then I started noticing a few people was looking. So I said, all right, well, keep putting them there. People want to see it. Hey, now this is the archive of all my TV appearances. I make sure I put it there. So it's just kind of like that. Yeah. What do the audience want to see? And then on LinkedIn, it was always about business, women entrepreneurs or minority entrepreneurs doing great things. So I would always post stories about that and then throw my little TV clips in and be like, yeah, I'm one of those people too. Like, check me out. So,
Mm-hmm.
but when I mean, but that wasn't where I said I'm really going to focus on that until like 2 years ago. Because before it was just like, oh, I'm too busy,
Mm-hmm.
or I don't have time, or, I'm too busy working on somebody makeup to be taking a video of me doing somebody makeup. But I think it was really just an excuse because I didn't want to do it. I didn't feel like I had to do it. And then I finally said, you're going to have to get involved in this because where I was working at the time, we kept telling our educators, oh, you got to be on social. I'm like, I'm not even doing it, but I'm telling them you need to be out there. So it was like,
Right.
okay, take your own advice, get in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was also because I think the perfectionist syndrome in our heads, we're like, we don't want to get out there and have somebody critique our work or what we did. And so you're like, if it's not absolutely perfect, I don't want it out there. And I used to think about reels like, oh, I got to have two cameras, all these lights, and then an editor. Like, it's like a movie production to do one video. And then it's like, no, people are making millions off an iPhone and a ring light. Why are you worried about all this stuff to do one video? And when that shift
They
happened, I
are.
was like, yep, grab that phone and just get some lights and then just record it. And a video I had put together for actually a TV audition, I had put out one evening and tagged the brand. It was Jessica Simpson. And they saw it, put it on their story, reshared it, and it got, I think it was like 10 or 11,000 views. So then I said, okay,
Oh,
you might be all right doing this little, social media thing. If this first video you're putting out, when you said, I'm going to get serious, caught a brand's attention and caught 10,000 views. So I think that's it. That's that reinforcement. Keep doing it. Or every now and again, someone will send me a little message. I love your content. I love what you're doing. And I'm like,
mm-hmm.
that's that positive reinforcement to keep doing it, keep staying out there.
Mm-hmm. Well, that shows your connection with your audience.
Yeah, I guess you're right. If they want to message me, say, hey, I love it, saw it, keep doing it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's one piece of advice that you would give to someone who wants to break into your industry, either beauty or media, but they don't know where to start?
Let's see. Well, beauty, if you don't want to go through school, well, yes, you can apprentice. I mean, that's still an option if you know a hairdresser that you really, and this is the thing for me too, when I had decided to start a business, because MG Beauty wasn't a business till 2007, even though I had been doing people's hair since I was like, 15, 16. I said, I want to learn from someone who's been in the industry a long time, who's really successful. And so I had sought out who was it here in the DMV that I thought I could work with or work for and learn and really get out there in the industry. And there's this hairdresser who's still out there. I'll put her name
Mm-hmm.
out there, Miss Shirley Gordon, who salon The Strands is in Wheaton, Maryland. And
Mm-hmm.
I just really wanted to work at her salon because Shirley is amazing. If you see her, she's just turned 60, looks like she's 25, and the woman is
Wow.
like a machine. Shirley Gordon is her name. I think she's on like Instagram as Shirley G. So if you pull her up, you're gonna know what I mean by the woman is gorgeous and she just turned 60. So
Wow.
when I met her, right, I was like, I really wanted to work at her salon, but it was super competitive. People wanting to get in there because she was looking for an assistant. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, this is perfect. I can get in there and I can learn from somebody who's been there and who's a celebrity hairdresser, award-winning hairdresser. Like if you're really into the beauty industry, you know about the North American Hairstyling Awards, you know about Trend Vision, these big awards things. And she was coming in, if not winning it, always top placement. So that's how good she
Mm-hmm.
was. And I said, yeah, that's who I want to learn from. So find somebody like that. And it ain't gonna be easy to get in the door. I mean, it wasn't easy for me to get into Shirley's circle, but it's persistence. When I heard she needed an assistant, I went in and introduced myself and left my resume and met her. And she was like, okay, well, I'm going to give you a call, is what she said. And then I ain't hear from her for like a week. So I said, okay, let me call, follow up and get to the front desk. And they're like, okay, yeah, I'll tell Shirley that you called. And then I wait another week, I don't hear from her. Call back. Hey, following up on Shirley. And the front desk was like, oh, yeah, you're the makeup artist, right? I'm like, yes. This is my third follow up. Yes, I'm still trying to get hold of Shirley. And it's just like, okay, I'm gonna give her the message. You call, I know who you call. I'm gonna get the message. Like, gotta keep following up, right? And then
Right.
next time I called, I was like, okay, this is the fourth time I'm trying to get this job. And she was like, oh, she didn't call you. I gave her the message, And she's like, well, look, I know she's not going to call you today. She is busy, and her other assistant didn't show up because she only worked with two. So she was already short
Uh-huh.
one, and now the other one didn't show up. So she's like, I know she's not calling you today. But she's like, I'm going to give her the message again that you called. And this is the light bulb moment. I said, okay. I said, something's better than nothing. She may not have trained me, but if you don't have
Yeah.
nobody to help you, and I'm like, I'll come help you, I'm gonna give it a shot. And I just got dressed, drove down to the salon, went to the front desk, said, hey, we just talked about an hour ago. It's Mindy. Let Shirley know I'm here to help her today. She says she don't have nobody. I'm here to help. And she looked at me like,
Wow.
what? She's like,
Wow.
they right here. And then I didn't realize Shirley was just around the corner. She go over to tell
Uh-huh.
Shirley, Mindy's like, she will come help you today because you ain't had no assistant. And so Shirley was like, come here. And I was like, yeah, I'm willing to offer you my service today. I heard you didn't have nobody to help you. And she was like, well, luckily one of the other people did come in, but I'm not as bad off as it seemed. But you know what? You can come back tomorrow and then I can try you out. And I said, okay, I'll be here then. And that's how I ended up getting
Look
into
at
her
that.
salon. Right. But it's that
Wow.
persistence and
Girl. That
yeah,
girl.
give it a shot. Get in
See?
there. Mm-hmm.
That's just like sending that email
Yeah,
and you're on TV.
take that chance. You see who you want to work
Awesome.
with, find that little gap and take advantage of it. Because yeah, I ended up working for her for like a year, and it was the toughest job I ever loved. But learned
Mhm.
so much from her just about presentation. And she's gone on. She's been featured in like Vogue now. She's done hair color for Beyond. Like she's still trailblazing in the industry. But I'm just grateful that I had that chance to meet her and work with her in the industry.
And you said she's Shirley G, right?
Gee, yeah. So, I
Shirley
mean,
G.
still does like hair, like she does wigs. Also, I think she's got a line of wigs too. But yeah, if you find her
Mhm.
on, you gonna see, she just posted these pictures. I'm like, okay, Shirley, I see you in that gym still.
See,
Okay,
that's why she looks 25
right.
at 60.
Sure enough.
But
Mhm.
you know, trends come and go.
Mhm.
When I talk about people like you, I always talk about you being in um, the style industry. I like to use the word style more than I like to use the word fashion because to people who are outside of your industry, sometimes the word fashion can lean towards being more trendy, like just the trendy stuff. But style is like timeless.
Mhm.
It's always going to be there, and it could be looked at to be more high end too. But that's the difference in the word for people outside of what you do. Okay,
Yeah.
us lay people. Okay, so my question is, what's one timeless beauty or style tip that you swear by, no matter the trends, what's going on, what's trendy right now, but you swear by this one thing and you stand on it? I'm Mindy Green and I'm telling you this is what it is. This is it.
So for beauty, I'm gonna say it's all about the skin. Best skin, you get the best makeup because it's always going to be a new improved foundation that's supposed to do this, a new powder that's supposed to blur and do all this. It doesn't matter
Mhm.
how great the product is if your skin is not in shape, it's not going to look like anything. So focus on the skincare, not the makeup. And that's going to take you a long way with how well your makeup goes on because if you have the flawless skin and you put the makeup over it, it's just going to be even more next level. So focus on the skin, not the makeup. And
Got
then
you.
as far
Awesome.
as clothing goes, I think it's always wear what looks good on you despite, like you said, things being trendy because you don't want to follow a trend and then you look absolutely ridiculous. Like right now, there's a trend called jorts, like the long Bermuda shorts that are a little bit, baggy. And I'm like, it looks absolutely ridiculous on me. Could I just try to do it because it's a trend? Sure. But I think it looks absolutely ridiculous on me. But I respect the trend.
So
So it's like, hey, do what looks good on you. Don't do what the trend is if it doesn't look good on you.
okay, that makes
Mhm.
sense. That makes sense. I'm trying to think. I'm gonna think of it in a minute. There was a trend that came out not long ago, and I remember looking at it saying, "You won't see Sharon in that." And I can't remember what it is now, so I can't even talk about it. But I do remember me giving it this finger right here. No,
You're like, no.
we're not doing that. No, 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 no. We're not doing that. Is there a brand or a person that you would love to collaborate with? Not necessarily be a brand ambassador for, but just collaborate on some things with.
Brand. I think I would like my own Eloquy collection because I'm always and
Oh,
actually and Macy's. I'm always I shop at Macy's a lot. So yeah, Macy's. I'd love to be in the Macy's
okay.
men as a style, I don't know, influencer crew, whatever the heck they call it, or Eloquy create my own. Because some years back, Eloquy did have some influencers who created like a piece that they had put out, and I remember buying at least like a couple of the items. So something like that, since it's a brand I've continued to use year after year after year. I mean, I was using Eloquy when they were in their early days under the Limited family. I'm like, the Limited, I think is still out there. Or maybe it's gone. I think Limited is gone. But now Eloquy's still out there. So yeah, I'd say that Macy's,
Mm-hmm.
Eloquy. As far as makeup goes, hmm, maybe it could be like a Juvia's Place, Mindy Green collection. I don't know what I call it. Call it something else. But yeah, I could see that because they have such bold colors, such fun colors with that brand. Yeah, Juvia's. Maybe I need to start tagging them. Be
Well,
like, hey,
well, we
or the lip bar.
yeah.
Actually, lip bar does make a lot of nice lip
See,
color.
I trusted you gonna get in there because you wrote the email and you showed up at a salon. So anything could happen now. You
Yeah.
inspiring me. You got my mind now over here racing on some things that I need to do. I got a whole list forming. Oh my, well, maybe I need to call this person. Maybe I need to go send this email. Maybe I need to tag. Maybe I need to do. Girl, got me all excited over here with that answer. So,
New things is
but
brewing for
look,
you. Good.
oh yeah, we got to do. But see, us entrepreneurs, we have to stick
Yeah.
together. We got to help each other.
It. Mhm.
So hey, listen. I also was able. I was able to receive 5 questions from viewers for
Oh,
Mindy.
okay.
All
Cool.
right. So let's start with the first one. This question is from a man, I suppose. He says his name is Steve. I don't know who Steve is. I don't know any Steves really, but he said his name
Hmm.
is Steve, and he said, as a black man, I struggle with razor bumps and uneven skin tone. What skincare routine would you suggest to help with that? And do you have any like specific products that he should look for?
Well, I'm gonna take him old school because I know he's probably heard about it, but he don't want to use it. That magic shave. I know he probably don't because I know they said the scent's not so great, but I mean, hey, that or I mean, well, I think he wants the option to be able to grow hair or not grow hair. I was going to say doing laser treatment, but that's going to remove the hair permanently. So I think it would be better
Mm-hmm.
to get that old school magic shave. I believe the scent has gotten better now. Just try it again. Just try it again. I think they do
Oh,
have a
really?
new unscented or something with a newer scent to it because that's one of those things
Mm-hmm.
that can definitely help with with the skin. But then also exfoliating. You have to get like a scrub to go through your follicles to see to make sure that ingrown hairs don't have that opportunity to form. So you're going to need to get a scrub
Mm-hmm.
if you don't want to use the magic shave. You're gonna have to use it like a couple times a week or get maybe like a chemical exfoliant. Got to do the same thing. That's definitely going to help.
Mhm.
And then I do kind of like some of the Clinique for men. There's another brand out there called Butter, Buttah, for men. That's something to check out too, because I believe they do have some good products for Black men.
All right. Clinique. I didn't know Clinique had a product
Yeah,
line for men like
yeah,
that.
just a few things, but I think and there's definitely things out there that's starting to come out. There was one other brand that Procter and Gamble just bought, and I can't remember the name of it. That's for Black men too. So
Hmm.
I think it's
I have to look that up too. That's
important.
cool. All right. So hmm. General skincare question is what this is. What are the most common misconceptions about sun protection
Oh,
for African American skin? And how can we better learn about SPF and skin health?
shoot. Misconception. I think the biggest misconception is that we don't need sun protection because we always like, oh, black don't crack. We got this melanin. We don't need
Mhm.
it. Yeah, we do. We do. I mean, we get skin cancer. I mean, not as much as our fairer skin counterparts, but it does happen. I have a brother who actually had skin cancer like on the forehead. So it does happen to us.
Mhm.
So we do
Mhm.
need the SPF every day, minimum SPF 30, and you do need to reapply every couple hours. I mean, and then also, this is one thing I would suggest, at least for the ladies, this option is try to get a foundation that has sun protection in it if your moisturizer doesn't have it. Or now there's setting sprays that have SPF in it. So set your makeup with that if your foundation or your moisturizer doesn't have sun protection in it. But that's one thing I look for in a moisturizer now, that it's all controlling because I'm combination and that it has sun protection so that I know I'm gonna have that coverage. And then you do gotta carry it with you. I know it sucks, but you get to reapply it. You gotta bring it with you
Mhm.
and make sure it's something designed to go over makeup. Actually, you can catch this thing I just did on Fox 5. I just talked about this very topic. So if you want info,
I
check me in.
I know. I
Check me
know. I saw it.
in.
Oh
This is
yeah.
actually a little
I saw
tidbit
that
here.
episode.
Yeah, yeah. Because actually I'll make it now. So on Thursday I'm going back to Living Local. We're not talking skin. We're gonna be doing back to school fashion. So that's breaking news. You're the first person to hear it. I'm going to
Awesome.
start promoting it Monday. But yep, Living Local DMV next Thursday. I'm going to do a little mini back to school fashion show with kids. So
Can I tell you a secret? Can I tell you a secret?
sure.
I think all the places that you appear on, living local DMV, that's my favorite one. I don't know
Oh,
why. That's my favorite one to watch. I'm just saying. It
that's
just,
a
I
nice.
don't know. It's something about they just seem, and they really love you, boy. I can
Yeah.
tell. Their body
Oh,
language tells me they love you.
that's
They
my
love
my
you.
TV family. They've been really good to me. They have been so good to me, bringing me on all the time, helping. They really have been instrumental in
Mhm.
helping me grow into that TV personality. Because I used to think of myself as just shopping and really fashion and beauty, and they were the first ones that were like, oh, let's talk shopping too. Let's do some shopping stuff. And this is
Mhm.
where it's kind of like a leap of faith because even though I always was a shopaholic and would talk about it in my videos, I didn't think about ever pitching it for a TV segment. And they were the ones that
Mhm.
said it was something like graduation gifts. They were like, oh, hey, can you do a segment on like graduation gifts? And I think that was the first time. And in
Saw
my
that.
mind, I was like,
I saw that.
well, if they think I
I
can do
saw
it, then
that. You had the adulting box.
yeah, yeah, I
Oh
think
my God. I had never heard of such. I replayed that. I was like, an adulting. What? I'm gonna rewind this. And you
yeah, just
talked
think
about what was in it. And I was like, that is a fantastic idea. Oh my gosh.
yeah. So
Hey
sometimes,
folks, if you all don't know what an adulting box is, I'm gonna have Mindy post that episode
oh,
on the side Jawn in the group and y'all can watch it because it tripped me out when I saw it. I was like,
um,
adulting box. I'm like, oh, wow, it's really
I
cool
can't
though.
remember what I put
It's really
together in that
cool.
box. I think someone in the comment, I can't remember what was in the box. I'm sorry, Melissa. Um, we had to go, yeah, like you said, have to give you the video. You can share it so you can see what's in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, but that's like I
But
call that, yeah,
it was really, really good though.
Yeah, I can't
It
remember.
was really good. I mean, that was a good episode. I think my favorite episode is the one you did on sunglasses.
Oh
And
yeah, we just did that in like March, I think. Yeah,
the
before.
I'm not I'm not sure if I saw you do more than one, but I know I saw one episode with sunglasses, and you were saying that the aviator glasses are the staple. Like you
Mm,
never can go wrong with the aviators, right?
yeah.
And one of the hosts picked it up and said Joe Biden glasses, and she put them on, and I was cracking up. That was just so hilarious to me because it made me think of that picture of him getting out the limo with the glasses on, and it was just so funny to me. But anyway, yeah, that's probably my favorite episode. I don't, and plus your outfit you had on that lime green,
Oh,
like
dress.
a lime green. It was a lime, yeah, lime green. Oh my
Mhm.
God, you look so pretty. I was like, oh my God, look at that
That
color.
dress was from
Made
City
me want
Chic.
to go out and buy something lime green when I saw it. It
Yep, that
was
dress
so
was from
pretty.
City Chic because that was one of the brands I was saying to shop at. So City Chic, that was their dress.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Girl,
yeah,
listen,
but
you
yeah.
see, if I'm gonna mess around with you, you're gonna have me buying clothes and shoes online. I'm just like to touch it first. It's
Oh yeah.
weirdness. I know.
I mean, some
I'm
Macy's
one of
they
those
have it in
people.
store. Some Macy's they have it in store. The best plus size shopping is the Macy's flagship store in New York. That one has like
Mhm.
almost a whole floor of plus size clothes. I've never seen another Macy's come close to that. But it's in New York, so that's a hike. But if you're in the city, you know, check out the Macy's flagship
Hey,
store.
yeah, Melissa did ask what is an adulting box. Not necessarily what you put in it,
Oh,
but
what
can you
is?
briefly tell Melissa what it is?
I think my concept was okay, you're going from because you graduated high school, maybe you graduated college. What are those little things that are going to help you get through life this first year out of school or out of college in your new job, everything that's happening in your new life, those little things that you're like, okay, like I had a little bit of chocolate. I think I had some perfume in there. I think I had a couple little games in there, just things that kind of help you get past these moments that we all remember when that first job and you had a situation with your boss or you're thinking about quitting or you just needed, I think I had a little bottle of wine. You just like, I just need a little sip of something. Um, there's all those little things. There was like a little book in there, like it's just
You,
so it
you
was just like a
can't go
little,
wrong with that. I'll
little
tell you
pop.
that. Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Yeah, it was something like
You
that,
crazy.
you know.
A little
But I
bottle of
always
wine.
want
I
the
could
feathers.
I could
Now I think,
always use it. Like a little bottle, like one of these little small bottles.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I
that'll
can
work.
use that.
You know. Now what is
Hmm.
Ernest talking about with feathers? What is he talking about?
I have no idea. No telling. He's what's
Okay.
up? What's up, Ernest? I never call him that. But anyway, so here's another question. Makeup order. I
Hmm.
hear people talking about this. I want to put on makeup. I don't even know how to put makeup on. What do you put on next? What do you put this on?
Order.
Is there a correct order that you need to put your makeup on? And if you so, can you give us like a brief
Order.
rundown?
So I typically do my eyes first. So that's going to be,
Hmm.
filling in the brows and doing my eyeshadow and then, eyeliner, all that good stuff. Then I'll do like complexion things like concealer and foundation. Then I'll add like blush and then finish off with the lips. But I mean, I know some people like doing their foundation first, but I just find that, especially if you're going to do like a dark eye, sometimes the eyeshadow kind of falls down here. So now it's like kind of black. So you got to clean it up and then you got to put your makeup back on the foundation. So that's why I say just do the eyes first. That way it's easy to clean up. And then you don't have to waste the concealer or foundation and have to put it on a second time. So waste time and wasting your product. So that's what I would say. That's my thing. Do
True.
the eyes first, then your complexion, then your cheeks, then your lips. I always think the lips for last because
And
it's
when
my
you
favorite part. But you can do lips in whatever order, I guess.
mine too, because if I don't put any other makeup on, I will put on lipstick. I rarely go out without lipstick. I'm going to put, there's two things mom always said you never leave the house without, and that's earrings and
Oh,
lipstick. You have to have
okay.
on earrings and lipstick. If you don't have anything else on, fine. But don't you leave here with no earrings and lipstick on. Not as a woman. Don't do it.
I
Just
like
have
that.
that on. That's what
That-
how she raised us.
I
Mm-hmm.
like the advice because I do
And
keep
I live
like
by that now.
that. I keep like lipstick in the car, lip gloss really in the car, and I try to keep earrings in a bracelet because I always feel like I have to have the whole presentation, like everything, like. And I overthink my outfits.
Right.
I feel like when I walk out the house, I'm on stage, so I can't miss my earrings. I can't miss my lips. Can't miss having a bracelet.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm on stage, I guess.
You got to as one modeling trainer told me years ago, you have to complete the look.
Yes, that's
You
it.
can't go out with your
Yeah,
look incomplete. I didn't know what
no.
it meant at first because I was like 9 or 10. And she explained it. And now that always comes in my mind. I'm either going to complete the look or I'm just going to stick with the earrings and go out the door. That's it. you know, complete it. You got to complete the look.
Keep the look.
But lip gloss, you mentioned, there's a question here about clear lip gloss versus colored. I like both, depending upon what I'm wearing and what I'm doing and where I'm going. Do you have a preference between the two, or is it the same for you? It depends.
Always color. Like I mean, I think my obsession with lips is crazy. I probably have easily now. I'm gonna say it. Probably 100 lip glosses. Probably 100 lipsticks. Crazy.
Uh,
With it. And still have a tube of clear just in case.
got you.
Can't go wrong with a clear just to have something.
Mhm.
But I mean, like now lip glosses are so pigmented. Some of them like have so much color, you would don't gives you the same coverage as lipstick. So, and then you have other ones that are more sheer. So it's really down to your preference. Do you want a lot of color or a little bit? But overwhelmingly,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't really use the clear. Even though I have it just in case, I don't use it. It's just there just in case. So
Just
I
in case.
do color. Team.
Okay. Well, the last question from our audience is about representation in the beauty industry. Okay.
Oh.
So they wanted to know, her name is Clarissa, how do you see the beauty industry evolving in terms of shade inclusivity and representation for African American skin tones? And are there any particular brands that lead the way in this evolving?
Well, that's I'm glad to see it is moving in the positive direction. There's still a lot of work to be done, but it is moving the right way because back in the day all we had was Fashion Fair and what else came out? Floyd
Mm, yeah.
Roberts, and then I
Yeah.
feel like there was I can't remember the other woman's name who had a line too. So we went from only having maybe a couple of options in the department stores to now most counters have a product for darker skins. And even just like, I don't know, 10 years ago, it would be that you see this gap. You find like a caramel or a honey color, and then you find a chocolate. And there was like nothing in between.
Mhm.
So then I guess you could
Right.
buy both of those and kind of mix. But why should you have to buy two? Even though I do recommend you have more than one shade of foundation, because as you get lighter and darker, you want to be able to custom blend. Most people are like, I can't
Mhm.
afford to buy two bottles of that. So they just want one shade. But you know who was the game changer for it? And that was Rihanna when she came out with Fenty and introduced, I
Right.
believe it was 40 shades out the gate. And so when it sold out, then all of a sudden these brands are like, what? Black women wear makeup? Oh my God. Like, how did you not know? What do you think we've been doing for decades? Right? What do you think?
Right. I'm like,
Y'all
oh
ain't
my God, they wake up. Y'all just
right.
now waking up.
That's what did it. When they saw that money, they was, oh crap, we missed out on
That's what
all.
it was.
That's all
Hmm.
it was. So then all of a
That's
sudden we
what it
started seeing
was.
shades, and then we had all these influencers calling out brands when they didn't do it. And so then it was like, okay, well, you better not introduce no foundation without having some darker shades because they're gonna come for you. So they started to get it and understand. Couldn't play that game, anymore. And I think Rihanna now still added more shades into her lineup. So definitely getting better, but are there still brands that are a little too orange or a little too ashy or, a little too red?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, they're still doing it, but I think at least I'd like to say there's more people trying than in the past. So
Mm-hmm.
it's moving in the right direction. But you still see some of the dark skinned models talking about during fashion week, nobody can do my hair, no one can do my makeup. Why do they hire these artists? Because that's where the big step forward needs to happen with
Mm-hmm.
who they're hiring. They don't hire the black makeup artists or the black hairdressers, and then the people don't have the makeup to work for the models, or the model
Mm-hmm.
has to do her own makeup or bring her own makeup. Whenever I've had someone sit in my chair and be like, "Oh, I have my makeup," I'm like, "What are you doing? Like, you shouldn't even call yourself a makeup artist if you can't do what I call a global palette. You can't work with the lightest to the darkest. Don't call yourself a makeup artist. Call yourself a makeup enthusiast, or don't take a job working with
Mm-hmm.
multicultural models if you can't accommodate multicultural models." But
Exactly.
yeah, so
See,
it needs to be
that's
the
part of that integrity of Mindy Green. See, that's that integrity coming through again. But you're keeping it real. If you're going to be a professional, then be a
yeah,
professional. If you can't do the job, then you're not a professional. If you can't do
yeah,
it, you know,
yeah,
you're just interested in it. It's just a hobby. Right? It's
right.
just a hobby.
I mean, how many times have I been
No,
like
you're
on
not an
set?
expert.
And I remember this one Indian actor, and he said to me when he saw me, he was like, "I'm so glad the makeup artist is brown," because he said, "I have sat here in movies or whatever I'm acting, and I've had the person ask me, now, what shade of brown are you?" Like the craziest question. I'm like,
Mhm,
why would you say what shade of brown is somebody? Like you're looking at them. Or even when I've shown like a brown foundation
mhm.
stick, someone asks me, "Well, what's that?" I'm like, it's makeup for darker skinned people. Like they were just blown away, just white makeup artists at the concept when I showed them this dark chocolate looking stick. That they're like, "Oh, that's yeah, yeah, that's what a darker
Oh,
foundation looks
it's
like."
not stage makeup, it's makeup. Okay.
What it looks
But
like,
you
you
know, you
know?
took me back when you said fashion fair. Yeah, when I
Mhm.
grew up, my mom wore fashion fair. She didn't even wear Flory Roberts really. She wore fashion fair. And remember I don't know if you remember the fashion fair fashion show.
I know I heard
They used to
about it,
be every
but I
year.
remember the kid, yeah, hearing about it.
They would
Yeah.
go on tour. Yeah, they would
Mm,
go on tour. We used to go to it was called Ebony Fashion Fair. That was the name
yeah.
of the fashion show. Sponsored by Ebony Magazine and all
Yeah.
of that. And
Mhm.
Fashion Fair was the makeup of choice, and they're the ones that were their biggest, supporter. And every year I would go to the fashion fair, to the fashion show, and see these models with this beautiful makeup and beautiful clothes. And they stopped doing that. And I believe in the early 2000s, I think, maybe, or
Yeah.
mid two. I don't know, but I miss it. They need to bring that back. But
Oh,
do you have any tip? I know we talked a lot about darker darker colored skin and black skin and so forth, but I know you do makeup for all shades,
oh yeah,
all
everybody.
shades and all skin types.
Yeah, nothing is if
So
your mother's green,
what would
I
be a
want
good
it.
tip that you would
Um,
so what would be a good tip that you would give for our Caucasian sisters out there about makeup, especially this time of year as we transition into fall from summer?
oh yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's a lot more education on the sun protection for right for Caucasian women because they are hearing about the skin cancer so
Mhm.
much more in their communities than of course in ours. So that's the key. But also making sure you're using that moisturizer, making sure you're using your if you're concerned about anti-aging. I don't want to automatically say that everybody's trying to look youthful, but if you're concerned about it, get on a good skincare program when you're like 18. Start doing your skincare at 18 because you're going to see it show up when you're like 40 and you're looking like 20 years younger than your friends. And bring it down into the neck, bring it down and into the decolletage. Make sure all this is covered because that's definitely your neck's going to tell you
Mhm.
your age. Right, your chest can tell your age and your hands. Try to get a little bit of that anti-aging serum on the back of your hands. Your hands going to tell your age, your neck, and then around the eyes. Focus on that eye cream. Even though if you're like, I know like 14, 15, high school was anything about eye cream, but if you can, start young on getting that eye cream. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
those are key
Okay.
skin. Yes.
Good tips. That's good tips for them. But also what I was going to say about the fashion fair thing. I remember that being the first makeup that I was, messing with because my mom wore it, and they had a color that was my favorite color, and it was called fiery fuchsia.
Ooh, I
And
fuchsia.
I'm willing to bet that they still have that color.
They might,
They
cause
it
they,
was two, it was two. That was the first one. Because
yeah.
I mean, it was a fuchsia. It was a deep, rich fuchsia. It was so pretty to me. And then my second favorite was bubbling brown sugar.
Oh,
And so it was a more of a nude for our skin,
mm.
colored lipstick. I'm gonna look that up when I get out of here and see
Oh
if
yeah.
I can still
I
get me
mean,
some of that.
Fashion Fair's still out there. They've revamped. They've been purchased
Oh
by
yeah.
another company, and I've actually played around with it a little bit. I feel like they kind of stumbled a little bit when they first
Mhm.
introduced it because people were interested in seeing it come back. Because one of my favorite colors was chocolate raspberry
Mhm.
from them, that like purple iridescent kind
Oh,
of color,
okay.
and
Uh-huh.
like
I remember that.
yeah, they people who had the old shades because I used to be pure brown was my exact match in Fashion Fair. I didn't even have to think about it. Just go to give me pure brown.
Mhm.
And now they revamped the shade formula. And I was
Mhm.
like, okay, well, what's the new pure brown? Like all of us in the comments, well, I used to be this shade. What is it now? And they would not in the comments on their social tell anybody what the new shade was. So that was a big misstep. Not looking at the old formula and these new ones and saying, here's your equivalent to get people instantly started and buying the brand again. Because that'd be easy right there for them. But I've seen it. I've picked up a little
Mhm.
bit of it, so I'm happy that they're back. Definitely, price point's a little different than I remember it, so it's a little more pricey now than it was. But
Mm.
they've updated their formula, so
Mhm.
I guess that's why. But I'm just glad they were there because who was I talking to? Well, this is a few years back. I had met Reggie Wells, and if you don't know him, he was Oprah Winfrey's makeup artist the whole time she was doing her Oprah show
Uh-huh.
and everything. Reggie Wells, and he's actually a
Uh-huh.
Baltimore native. And I got to meet him a few
Mhm.
years ago at a makeup class. And he was talking about
Mhm.
how back in the day, because they didn't have a dark enough foundation, he would have to use that kiwi shoe polish for black women. So think about that. He had to use the kiwi shoe
Are you
polish
serious?
sometimes to get something dark enough.
Wow. And you know
But now,
what's so sad is I know what kiwi shoe polish is because I used to polish my father's shoes. I used to
mhm.
love to get all his shoes out when he would go out of town on business. And so when he would come back, I would have all his shoes lined up in the bottom of his closet, all shined
Aw.
with the kiwi shoe polish. That was just like our thing. That was our thing. He would come back and open that closet and look down there to see if I
Aw.
missed doing his shoes. But I used to love to shine his shoes. I wouldn't shine anybody else's shoes, just
Which is
my
adorable.
father's shoes. That's it. I'm not shining your shoes, dude. No, we're not doing that. But my father's, yes, I did.
Mhm.
So I know what that kiwi shoe polish is. In fact, I have 2 cans of it, and I
Yeah.
still have the little round circular brush that you
Yeah.
get it out with to put it on the shoe. I got the brush, and I even got the towel. I got all that.
Oh, okay.
It was
But
it was
that
my dad's. Yep, I still have it.
But I mean, speaking to like you talking about the evolution, like that's where he was to try to get something that worked for us. And now at least we do have some really good
Wow.
options. Not perfect, better, but still some work to be done. Much, much
Mhm.
better.
Well, Melissa Markovich in the comments, and she made this statement, Mindy. Yep, my mom had skin cancer. It's so dry in Colorado. Finding a good moisturizer that doesn't break me out with my sensitive skin has been rough. Do you have
Hmm.
any kind of tips you may offer for her? She lives in Colorado.
Sensitive skin. So she's probably tried all the drugstore ones, but there's a brand. It's a little more pricey. This is more what they call pharmaceutical grade skincare, but a couple brands to look
Mm-hmm.
into. Obagi, which is O B like boy, A G like girl, I, or is it like I think it's ELTA, ELTA Skin MD. So they're pricier, but they should have something that can work for your skin type. So you gotta catch them
Okay.
on sale. Yeah,
Uh,
catch them when they do sales or deals because they can be the moisturizer could be like, well, it could be $60 on up for the pharmaceutical grade skincare. It
okay.
gets up there.
All right. Well, I put that
Chat
in the
for
comments there so she can see those. So I put them down there for you, Melissa. Obagi and Elta Skin MD.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, got it. I'm trying to be fast with it. Get that in there. Have to get it in there for the people. But this has been so much fun. Um, oh my goodness, it's really been a lot of fun. But I want you to leave with one final tip. It can be on anything that you're dealing with, like self-esteem, makeup, beauty, fashion, even shopping. Like you love bling, but I know you shop well on a budget. If a person has a budget, I've seen you do posts in shows talking about that. So if you have a tip, one final tip you'd like to give everyone, let's go, Miss MG.
I'm trying to think. Can I just do one? I'm kind of thinking there's two things that are coming to mind.
Or
One is
do two or three if you like. Do it.
okay. Okay, so I'm big on consignment stores. Like, try to get the bang for your buck. So buy the clothes, wear them, and then try to sell it. Get something back for your clothes. And yes, you could do charity because that's really good of you to do donations because I do that too. But kind of put your clothes in piles. We have some of the stuff you're like, okay, I'm gonna give this to charity, but the other stuff, let me try to sell. And even if you only get like, $7 back for it, $8, $10 for it, at least there's money back in your pocket. So I always say visit your local consignment and try to sell your clothes
Mhm.
first. Or even when you're looking for designer goods, stop in the high-end consignment stores. Buy it used because who wants to pay $2,500 for a handbag? I mean, hey, if they got it like that, but you come along, get the same bag, maybe you're only spending 1,200 or 1,000 and you got the same look.
Mhm.
So get the look for less.
Mhm.
Consignment.
Get the
As
look for
far
less.
for less. Now, when it comes to fashion, this is probably more
Mhm.
so to our plus size divas out there because I do consign a lot of my clothes. And one of the things the consigner was telling me, actually, the store owner, was that when they see my clothes, because I always go for like embellishments and ruffles, and it's like just to say things are different. I like different. I like details. That sometimes the people who they try them on, but they're afraid to buy them because they're like, well, it's almost like they don't want to be seen because my stuff is not for people who want to shrink in, it's for people who want to be seen. And so it's just having, I said, they're probably not comfortable owning their size. And so it doesn't mean that because you're plus size that you don't want to lose weight or you don't want to be smaller, but you have to own where you are now and love yourself today because you may not ever lose that weight. So love yourself today, own your size, and don't shrink. Make sure that you're out there to be seen.
That is so true. That is so true. I mean, I've lived that. So yeah, that is
Mhm.
very true. And it's amazing the different types of people enter into your life when you do that. When you own your size, you don't shrink back. You walk in the room like I'm here and you will notice me. And the people that come your way, it's just like night and day. When you
Yeah.
walk in and you just slide in and you just, like that, you don't want anybody to look at you. Nobody will. But if you come in, I had to learn that the hard way. And now I'm probably one of the most confident people in the room when I walk in the room. It's my
I
room.
did.
That's just how I feel about it. The
Yeah.
chocolate girl is here. When I
Yeah.
go into people, I have a lot of podcast friends, right? And when I go into their show in the comments, I get their notification and I go in there and I'll say, "Hey, the chocolate girl is here," and they laugh because they expect me to say it because I'm gonna say that every time I come in. Just about, I'm gonna be like, "Yo, the chocolate girl is here,"
Yeah.
you
Own
know.
that room, own that space.
But
You're
yeah,
right.
that's a very good tip.
Own
Very
that
good
room.
advice. Very good advice. My final thoughts for the day is um love yourself, just like Mindy said. Be confident, accept who you are the way you are, and love you because there's only one you. And all the billions of people who have ever lived on earth, there's only been one you. And when I think about that, that is amazing to me. That makes me feel just amazing. There's nobody like me, and I love me, love you. And when you love you, you can be so confident and comfortable with yourself that stuff just bounce off of you. You
Yes.
just do that. And if you need any help being more confident, just try meditation. I believe in meditation. Just get quiet with yourself and love yourself. That's all I can tell you. Because I love me. I'm sure Mindy loves herself. You gotta love yourself first before you can love anybody else. That is a true statement. That's just
Yeah.
that's how I see it. But Melissa says she needed that today. And she thanks us
Oh,
ladies. Well, you're welcome, Melissa.
yeah. Thank you,
Um,
Melissa.
oh, OG said watery skin and proactive. He asked about proactive. If you had any thoughts about that proactive skincare stuff.
Proactive. Well, I mean, I've known a few people who've tried it. They have said it works. There's also another sister brand of theirs called Rodan and Fields that I would say maybe try because I feel like it's a little less harsh
Mm-hmm.
from what I remember. Because I mean, both were
Mm-hmm.
dermatologist recommended, but the Rodan and Fields feels a little bit more of the upgraded version.
Okay. Yeah, I hadn't heard about that one. I knew somebody who tried proactive and it was just too harsh for their skin. So they had to stop using it. It was working at first, but then all of a sudden the patches came. The patches,
Okay.
like
Oh, the
red
dry.
patches.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
too
she had
much.
to stop using it.
But I also
But
like
anyway, but
Murad.
thank you, Miss Mindy Green. Thank you, Miss Mindy. I
Thank you for
want you
having
to
me.
leave us with telling them how they can find you and how they can follow you all across social media, website, the internet, Beyonce's internet, as they say. How can people find you and follow you?
Yeah, so I have a website, mgbeautymakeup.com. I'm on Instagram as MG Beauty, on TikTok as the MG Beauty, and then I'm on LinkedIn, YouTube. We talked about the Mindy Green Beauty TV on YouTube. Facebook, I believe, is also Mindy Green Beauty. So one of those ways you hit me up on one. Usually I have a link to the other. Some place I think you can find me. I'm pretty active online. I'm usually probably on Instagram and TikTok now. I'd say the most than I was before. On LinkedIn a lot.
Hmm.
Now, yeah, Instagram and TikTok the most.
Okay. All
Mhm.
right then. Well, thank you guys for joining us here on the side, John. As you know, we are here every Saturday morning, 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. Saturday, my favorite day of the week. Um, like and share the show. Even after it's done, you can always catch the replay right in our Facebook group, The Side John, JAWN, in case you don't remember how to spell it. But thank you for joining us. Thank you for the wonderful comments and people
Yeah, thank
writing
you.
the comments and asking the questions and so forth. Thank you to the five of you who submitted those questions for Miss Green today. And we will be having her back. I talked to her about that before the show. Gotta have her back on more often. Isn't she lovely, y'all? All perky. Don't you want to see that face on a Saturday morning? I know I do. So I'm gonna have her back for sure. So I'm gonna end the show, but Mindy, stick around so we can do our little after show chat, and then I'm gonna
Cool.
let you
All
go.
right.
All
See
right,
you.
y'all. We'll see you next Saturday.